Hello everybody. Sorry, I'm 2 minutes late again. It's like Groundhog Day. And that happened the other day. I had to walk this little boy. He needed a pee-pee. So, today, we have something quite interesting. Antoinette's going to join me. She was called into work, so she's going to be sort of possibly in and out, but she's still going to be here. Hello, Lindsay, my darling. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath and a bit kerfuffled. I was like, literally, me and my dog, we had 2 minutes to get downstairs and upstairs again. And then we came out of the elevator and on the wrong floor and had to run up the stairs. So, here's Antoinette. Wonderful. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Here she is, guys. Hello, my darling.
Hello. Hold on one second. Jesus, it's so loud. I can't leave this music on. Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, I was literally running back from walking my dog, so I'm a bit out of breath.
I can hear.
Breathe. Hello, June, darling. And then I want to do all my singing bowl and spraying sage and the whole shebang. Look at your nails, honey.
Oh, I know, right?
That was needed. You're horizontal, my darling. Oh, there you are. Oh no, you're vertical now. How is everything going, my darling?
It's going. I have like this pain on my right side, but that's like I'm kind of used to all of that now. Like this time last year, or like after my awakening, I had this like gash that was like from here to here. So that was like my feminine side. And it took me like 7 months to heal it. It was like an energetic cut. So I feel like right now, like we're still embodying like the masculine energy.
Yeah.
So I get it in like weird, I don't know. It's like I have like this energy in my hands, so like it's like ethereal surgery. It's like really
It's interesting.
weird.
It's interesting you say that. My shoulder went funny earlier, and I was just like, it's because I want to do all this manly, heavy lifting, but I was like, I'll just do some cardio.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not in the mood. Now, I want to tell everybody what we're going to talk about today, because it's quite interesting, and I have exciting news for everybody as well. So I just got off the phone with Massimo, who runs a page called Angelic Humanity.
Yes.
He's very, very knowledgeable. He's a galactic historian. Now, I'm not going to go super deep on everybody today. A lot of people aren't ready for this, and I'm very conscious. I'm very conscious of what I put out, when I put it out, who I put it out to, always with love. But I think that that's very important. Everybody to feel cocooned and safe and good, and for them to evolve at the pace and the speed that is comfortable for them.
Right.
Although the speed should always be a bit uncomfortable. But that's why you need a seatbelt. You know, it's a bumpy road, but you know, we don't want to shock people too much.
Right.
But what I wanted to talk about is, obviously everyone talks about twin flames, but not about the fact of why we're here. Like, what's actually what is the purpose of it? Like, what is the purpose, and what is that actually going to do for humanity, and what is the energetic imprint that this is going to have on the planet when we actually are in union? That's the kind of thing I want us to be talking about.
Right.
Now,
so, you know,
we have Antoinette for a little while. She may have to dash. If she does, we'll just keep going in and out. But do you want to talk about that for a second, darling?
So, you know, I had no idea about twin flames at all, right? Mm-hmm. I kind of always knew, even when I was little, that I was here for a reason, you know? And like I had a bigger purpose, and I didn't really know what exactly that was. Yeah. And, you know, I've had a lot of childhood trauma. I went through drug addiction. I've been attacked by entities, you know, had no idea. I've had like a spiritual death in 2013. like my ascension process really began in like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about it, you know, it was just, I just felt like I wanted to die. So it was like my first dark night of the soul. And then I had like a spiritual death in March 2013, which I got sober from after that. And, you know, I met my twin flame a few years after that, but like, I kind of always knew that I had someone. It was weird. Like,
It's actually, Antoinette, it's common amongst violet flames.
yeah. Because like I always knew that there was someone that was like perfect for me, and it's weird because I remember like being in third grade and saying that I loved football players and with blue eyes, and he was a football player when he was in high school, and he's got blue eyes. We have like the same eyes. It's crazy, and like, but I didn't know we had like started hooking up in 2017. But like the first time I seen him, I was just like, who is that? Like, I know him, you know? And it was really weird. And we just had like connections with friends, and like my family's known his family, and like it's really weird, you know? And like, so like there's a bigger role to all of these things.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
know?
I have to interject with the craziness, like with my twin. So the guy that I was dating when I met my twin was called Red, and then obviously my twin's called Jay, and my my boyfriend Red, his actual blood uncle, his mother's brother, was the A&R guy for Jay. So they actually and he actually committed suicide, and so the two of them were together at a funeral. So Jay stole me from Red, and they were at this funeral together. It was so nuts, you know, and and then everybody he knows I know, and vice versa. It's insane.
Yeah,
insane.
It's crazy. And then we like went into separation, and I went into my dark night of the soul again. And then in March, it was March 10th, I think, and like I had a dream about his dad a few weeks. No, it was a few days before that, and I texted him, and I was just like, hey, your dad was in my dream. You know, his dad passed away, like, you know, like a while ago, and like gave me this message, and I gave it to him, and it was weird. And then a few days after that, I had like texted him, and I was like, oh, next time I see you, I want a hug. And he's like, oh yeah, I promise, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 days after that, my third eye opened, and I remember seeing him standing there, and I was just like, okay, because like I couldn't forget about this kid for a year, you know. I was like crying on the floor, like, why can't I forget this kid? What the fuck, you know? And
I love how she calls her DM this kid. It's so funny.
I was like, why can't I forget him? I don't get it, you know. And then he was standing there, like, you know, I guess his higher self, I don't know, and he's standing there and he's smiling at me, and I was just like, okay. And like our souls just merged into one, and it was just like bright white light and like head to toe orgasmic bliss, you know. And I was just like, it was like I can't even explain the feeling, you know. It's like yeah, it was just like I had to
It can't be explained. The thing is, it's one of those things, my angels say, it doesn't need to be explained, because those that know, and those that don't know, it's okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones that have been there and felt it, they know.
And it was just like, you know, it's so much more than just this physical relationship.
Absolutely.
You know, I feel like a lot of people get hung up on the external.
Yes. Well, they get hung up on the relationship and the romance and all of this 3D, just kind of, I want my man. And the fact is it's like, they are, first of all, their job is to activate you. So obviously mine's a pretty good job, because I think I'm pretty much on mission, people say, you know. So he did his job. So that was his first job. Then his next job was to obviously guide me in the 3D from the 5D, which again, I'd say he's doing a pretty good job. And then eventually, once the work has been done in both of our worlds, and he's cleared his world out for it to be ready for me. The very wise guy that I was talking to, the galactic historian, said the same thing. He was like, he's going to have a lot of clearing out to do to make his world okay for me. Now, that's something that just feels really new, and I want everybody that's a twin flame to just sort of absorb that. Because you might be wondering, oh, well, why are you and your twin not together? Well, everyone knows what my energy is like. I'm literally unicorns and fairies. This is my life every day, every day. Now, that's not his life right now. He has to get his life to that so I can be there and not be destroyed by this energy, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's funny that you say that because, like, for the most part, like, you know, this ascension process, it's about coming into yourself and not really giving a fuck what anyone else has to say. You know, like, a lot of the time we base our self-image and self-worth on how other people see us, when, like, in reality it doesn't really matter. Like, my entire life I wanted people to like me, but, like, you could have the whole entire world liking you, but if you don't like you, it doesn't matter. You know, if you don't think you're beautiful, if you don't think you're worthy, if you don't think you're deserving, none of it matters. And so it's like redefining how you see yourself, and like tearing down all of the constructs and beliefs you had about yourself, and like going within and realizing who you really are as a soul, as a, you know, like as a aspect of God's source, you know, and like, it's incredible. Like, I have like this light in my hands that is, it's just like, it beams out of my hand. It's fucking crazy, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, it still doesn't feel real to me, you know, because we base our reality on what other people tell us reality is, you know, from like the mind control programs, like TV, the media, all of those things.
Yeah,
so that is
medicines and all sorts of stuff.
So that is like the construct of what your reality consists of. And then ascension happens, right? And it's like everything you believed was real is thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing, you know, like with myself, I became enlightened in 2011. So it's been a little while. We've got this really bad interruption all of a sudden. Can you hear it?
That's probably, is it? Yeah.
That's it. It's when I speak.
Oh, no, I don't hear it.
You don't hear it? Oh, no, it's gone now. It's fine. Okay, sorry, that threw me off. But yeah, I became enlightened in 2011. It was a journey that went from 2004 to 2009, which is where I had the big twin flame thing, where I met him and stuff, and then it activated me. By 2011, I had full peace. The difference is there's so much that everyone has to strip away, and that's really what this conversation today is supposed to be about. Yeah, it's doing it now when I speak. This happened when I did my interview, if everyone remembers. I did an interview and it was that we would get interference just when I spoke. Can you hear me okay, Antoinette?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, I think it's going in and out. But that's what we really want you to, that's what we really want.
I mean, it might be...
Huh?
It might be like the airbrush machine here, but I feel like, I don't know, what does it sound like?
It's just when I speak, it was like an interference sound, but I just need to keep it brief and jump out again, and then I think it's all right. Gosh, it's because what I'm saying is important. So hold on, let me grasp the thought. Where was I? That's why I'm getting interrupted. I'm just trying to think where I was. So yeah, so obviously, yeah, I'm doing a lot of learning, unlearning, you know, making sure I'm not consuming fluoride water, just completely not watching the news anymore, starting to create my own reality, removing all toxic people from my life, building strong boundaries, and really, really purifying myself.
There's definitely like a heavy energy that's like, I don't know, I just like, yeah.
You can feel it. There is something happening, but we're going to be fine. It's fine. So the thing that I want us to talk about is going to be a little bit outer spacey and a little bit far-fetched. But hey, if not now, and if not with me and Antoinette,
aliens?
what the fuck is it? Huh?
We talking about aliens or?
Well, not just aliens. I want to just talk about the fact that twin flames, that there's more to this, guys, that basically we are going to be, as we come together, we're actually creating like these energy protection zones.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is how the earth, because everyone talks about the earth going to 5D, and I think a lot of people think that it's just going to happen by fairies, but we're the fairies, it's us.
Yeah.
You know? So I want people to understand that when they're getting wrapped up in the whole romantic side of the twin flame and all that.
It's great, you know, it is great. Me and my DM didn't really have like a dating relationship. It was more sexually, because we were both whatever. But it was great, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, I've never had anything like this. Like, what is this, you know? And it's like, it's like that feeling of heaven on earth. Right?
Yeah, and that's what we're here to bring in. And I just want people to understand that that is actually the purpose of all this. So
Right.
I guess my goal in this is that for anyone who's like all up in the when's he gonna call, and I watched on YouTube that the men are coming and I don't have to do anything. Bullshit,
Right.
guys. You have got to sort out your garden, and
Right.
he's got to sort out his garden. And then once both of your gardens are sorted out, then your gardens join together. But not only do they join together, there's another aspect. These joined together gardens are actually going to change the world. They're actually going to, in a physical, whether it's via TV shows or businesses or books that you're going to write, but it's also happening in the etheric zone, which is the creation of our energies. We will be able to help absorb this energy that's coming down because we will have created these zones within the two, within the couple.
But like, I want to talk a little bit about the separation consciousness that is like within the twin flame community. Like, there is no separation between you and your DM. Okay, like my DM had a situation last May where I don't want to, talk too much about it, but like where something happened to him and I physically felt it. Okay. So like, you're always connected. Like, this physical body is not, now I'm saying physical body because look, I'm like so far down the rabbit hole. It's not even funny.
But don't worry, darling. I'm down here with a map. It's okay.
Like
fine.
I see glitches all the time. And I'm just like, okay, like, you're not connected. You're not separated from your divine masculine. You're not, or your divine feminine, whatever it is, your divine counterpart.
Yeah.
You're not separated from God. There is no separation between any of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected, and like, that's why we affect each other so much. Even like, when we hold on to these wounds from childhood, like, why did these person's words hurt so much? It's because we're all connected. You know what I mean? And like, it hurts because on a soul level, we're all one, and like, when I had my spiritual awakening, it was like, I realized that every person in my life that hurt me on a soul level signed up to do certain things, to teach me certain, to have certain experiences or to teach me something.
Yeah, and that's where enlightenment comes in, when you're able to have gratitude for all of those experiences and understand what you learned. It doesn't mean you want to do it again, and it doesn't mean you have to have that person in your phone and you have to hang out with them. Fuck no.
Right.
It just means that you are to be in a place of gratitude. I'm grateful for the fact that my body was a torture chamber for 4 years and I went through loads of surgery and it was hell. Why? Because it got me where I am now, and nothing else would have got me here. That's why I had to go through it,
Yeah. And it's like seeing that, like, those contracts, whatever they were all based on love, right? Because the only thing that's real is love anyway. Fear, shame, guilt, all that doesn't even, you know what I mean? It's not a real, tangible energy. Like, love is the most powerful energy that there is.
And it's the only thing, yeah. And it's funny, I've been saying as well, like, I was guided this morning to put up some information about the community, to put some information about the community on my personal page, and on the community page to put a who are we. So in case anyone wonders, like, who are you guys? Like, what's this about? And the thing at the bottom was the only rule is love. Like, that's our rule. Like,
Right.
you know, like that's our rule, love. And if you're not doing love, then we will kick you the fuck out because we're in love. It's love.
We gotta go. We gotta
Yeah.
go. It's like, we'll love you from over there, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, you know, I mean, for myself, like I experienced a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of bullying, and like I never really understood why people were like that. I still don't understand why people are like that.
That is part of you being a violet as well, because you're not supposed to, because you're here for the future, and you're a little bit early, the violets. So a lot of you are. You have a certain ignorance, but the ignorance is kind of ignorance and innocence combined.
Yeah.
And whereas us blue flames, we're a bit tougher. We're a bit like, right, roll up our sleeves. We're going to deal with this shit. Like, you know, we're a bit like that. But the difference is that you guys, you were really brave, the violets, to come down now because you are so sensitive, and yet this world isn't really ready for you yet. And that's why I'm not trying to push too many of you too much into the forefront yet. A very important announcement. I'm being told it's now, I have to say it. So I spoke with Massimo today, and I'm going to be having, like, it's going to be a private mastermind class that he's going to teach. So anyone who's interested in attending a super advanced lesson, it's going to take place on the 7th of March at 4:44 p.m. Eastern, 1:44 Pacific. So if you want to go to it, if straight away you're like, I must, DM me now in Amelia Happiness Guru. Just DM me, basically, because it's only going to be, it's not something I'm going to promote or push. It's almost like you have to go and take the basket and walk with it. I'm just going to stand here with my stool and you go and take your basket. I'm not supposed to go with the baskets, handing them out yet, because the information is going to be extraordinarily advanced.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, I've been doing a lot of my own history research on, I mean, just because I've had a lot of different multidimensional experiences where I've been like raped by entities, I've been attacked, I've been possessed before, you know what I mean? Like, this is very much like a very real situation where
I need to interject. I think everybody needs to be aware that Antoinette actually is quite, gosh, the right wording for this. She's very treasured on the spiritual zone. So I don't want anyone to feel scared about this. Antoinette has certain powers, and that's why she would have gone through these things. These things haven't happened to me, and they don't happen to a lot of people. I don't want anyone to go into fear. I just need you to understand Antoinette actually is very treasured, and there was like a little bit of a fight for her. Obviously the fight won. She's here with us. Everything's good. Everything's wonderful. I just need you guys to understand this is nothing to be scared of, and we're not.
Yeah.
The session is going to be on Saturday the 7th at 4:44 p.m. and at 1:44 PST, and you just need to DM me and say, I want to attend the advanced masterclass. And literally, I'm not going to be announcing this very much. I'm just being told to do it when I'm told to do it. But Massimo thinks I'm hilarious. He thinks it's so funny because I understand everything he knows. I just don't know the code numbers. So it's like a piece of clothing. It's like I can describe the clothing, but he knows the code number in the back. And that's the difference. So I understand he can talk about any piece of clothing in history, and I know what he's talking about. But he can describe it in this detail that my angels were like, yeah, you haven't got a big enough brain for that, Amelia.
Right.
Like that's not your role.
It's really weird.
Just keep being a rapper, spiritual guru person, okay? I was like, okay.
Yeah, like, you know, I've done a lot of my own research with, like, I had this weird entity living in my house in 2012 to 13, and when I had my spiritual death, I literally had to fight for my soul. Like, it came into my body, and I had, like, it was whatever, crazy, So, that happened, and then, like, then I had, like, I would get attacked by these reptilian.
I had a similar thing, but mine was done via doctors and hospitals. It was the same thing. It was like every time I went in there, I'd start like peeing blood and they'd tell me I was
Right.
going to die, you know.
Yeah.
So I had similar stuff, but it was different. My stuff, 3D people can understand it because they're like, it makes some sense to them, whereas yours
Right.
is
It's all astral and like on the spiritual planes, you know. And I got diagnosed with narcolepsy in 2013, so that's where I couldn't sit for more than like a half hour without falling asleep. And then I would have like outer body experiences. I would get sleep paralysis every night, and I would feel like I was being touched. It was just like, you know, and I would talk to my doctor about it, and he was like, "Oh, that's just you're hallucinating." I'm like, "No, bro, like something's not right." You know?
But again, the thing is, my angels are being very specific though. They say because these experiences are quite unique because of who you are in the realm, they want us to focus on your ability to teach those about why their twin flame relationship is so precious and sacred.
Right.
Because because like I said, these experiences are unique because of who you are, honey. It's you know,
yeah.
The abilities that she has and things that are not fully embodied yet, but over the next 7 years they will.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I do know that other people have had certain experiences, you know, but it's
that's the thing. It's good that you put it out there so that basically if you've had something similar, and I have 3 clients that have had similar stuff. Like I said, one of them's on here now. But you mentioning it is enough for them to know that they can reach out to you directly on DM and be like, "Hey, I'm Amelia's client," or "Hey, I saw you in the thingy," and you know what I mean. But the majority of the women watching, the thing that I want them to take away from this while we have you is about the preciousness and the sacredness of the build up to this union and what impact this union is going to have on the planet.
Oh yeah, I mean, from what I know is like we have this light in our bodies, right? And like, because we are beings of light, and when those two beings come together, like when I had that experience last March, it was so intense. It was just bright white light. So now this is gonna happen when all of these, you know, when we all come into union, and it's not all gonna happen at the same time because it would destroy the hologram that we live in, you know, and like because it's so powerful and it's gonna emit all of these rays and light codes to other people, and like we're here to embody unconditional love and change the paradigm and the gender, the law of gender. You know, like we often see ourselves as separate from men or less than men because of the way the feminine has been, what's the word?
Subjugated is the word my angels just said. Anyone who wants to give an explanation on that word, please go ahead. I don't always know the words they tell me.
You know, like we've been suppressed for so long that, hold on 1 second. I'll call you back.
Okay. I need to pop out and just do what she needs to do for a minute, guys. So yeah, Lindsay, let's see, Lindsay, see if you want to jump in for a minute, Lindsay, my darling. And I'm not going to make this one a long one. Hello, my darling. I know it's a bit of a surprise.
I'll chit chat.
Yes.
What's up?
Good, darling. Yeah, I mean, tell us about the experience you had.
Oh, it was, so I've been doing a lot of work. Let me just turn this down. In like dream state, but like right before I wake up, you know what I mean? Because that's where I think it's like the most powerful, and it's so close to a meditative state. So I was thinking about my DM and sending love and imagining him with me, and I've been doing the forgiveness work, and I was in tears at one point, and then after that, everything like turned into it like literally looked like a bright ball of light. And I had seen it years ago, but it was with the man next door that from a restaurant.
Mhm.
And I had never met him, and I walked into the restaurant because I work next door. Walked in, and he rounded the corner, and he was a glowing ball of light. And then several months later, he was murdered in New York. But years later, I had gone to, so I practiced Violet Alchemy. It's very similar to Sandra's work, but a little bit more complicated. Sandra's is much easier to do, but it's channeling ascended masters, archangels for clearing karmic wounds. So I was going through a session, and someone said that his father, the man that passed, was my father back in the days of Jesus. So all the way back then.
Anyone, just to give everyone a breather, just because, you know, we went from Antoinette and her, like, she's like going here, and then we come onto you, and we go, without even giving them an introduction. Everyone's like, what?
Oh.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we're down the rabbit hole, guys. So when you're in the rabbit hole with us, it's best.
Oh, I live in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's best just to kind of I could just sense a few people being like, what the fuck? Like,
Probably.
what the fuck?
Probably.
So, yeah, this is the rabbit hole, and it's best just to like let us get on with it, and then add your questions in, because we're just doing our thing.
I'm totally down for questions.
Yeah, but keep going. But I just thought I needed to acknowledge the fact that literally we were going in a swirl this way, and then we suddenly went whoop, 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 like this. Like everyone's like, hold on, I can't keep up.
So
Ascended Masters of the time when Jesus' time.
So the Violet Alchemy is it's channeling ascended masters and archangels to find out where your core wounds are, right? Your blocks, and how to clear it. And it's very similar to Sandra's. You go through a meditation, but this is different. Like Sandra's is great because you do it yourself, or she walks you through the meditation. This one's a bit more complicated, but that had come up, and it's soul family, you know, your soul flames and everything like that. And it was just very interesting to see that in the 3D happen, that glowing ball of light, and like my eyes open in the middle of the restaurant, just a glowing ball of light, until he spoke, and then I could see him. But so that, and then it happened again the other night. So I've been doing the forgiveness work and sending him love and all that. So.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the thing, guys, you know, when you start getting into this really, really deep forgiveness work that's really clearing out such heavy stuff, like your vibration is just rising. But this isn't like, a lot of people feel like moods where they go up and down. This is actually like going in the elevator. You go to that floor and you stay there. Then you go to the next floor. This is like permanent shifts. This is something that most muggles and 3D people don't even think is it doesn't exist. It's not possible.
It's over their head, which is sad, you know, because this world is so much like Harry Potter. I always say that I live the Harry Potter life, but it's life changing, you know, and the things that you see. And it's many years ago when it started. I was probably like 23, but it got to the point, because it happened when I was younger, and then I was always told, don't pay attention to that, you know, because I think it also scared my mother, because I would say things and then it would happen. But when I was 23, and I started acupuncture school then, and that takes you even deeper down the rabbit hole, because acupuncture school is all energetic medicine, you know, from the monks and everything that was channeled in to heal. So when I was 23, I can remember The Matrix came out many years ago, and I can remember thinking, oh my God, my life I am living that movie. Like, this is The Matrix. Like, it's the strangest thing.
Yeah.
And the things that you start to see.
I've just been reminded of a memory of mine that I'd forgotten all about, but it was like, there was once in my childhood that they wanted to show me who I was. There were glimpses. I mean, when I was 9 months old, I was sat in a mother and toddler group with babies, and the babies were in the middle and the mums were all around in a circle. And this child, I was 9 months old, this child was also about my age, dropped his toy and started crying. I stood up, walked over to him and said, here you are, this will make you feel better. And then I walked back and sat down. And all the women just looked at my mum like, what the fuck, you know? And then years went by without too much weird stuff. And then I was about 11, and there was like an exchange with my school and this private Japanese school that was nearby. We kind of did this cultural exchange, and we went there and we did all these games and stuff. It was kind of weird because I don't think we actually interacted much with the Japanese kids. We were just in their building. But anyway, there was maybe 7 to 9 different games that we played. And I'm talking like normal things, like, you know, like with the chairs. What's the game with the chairs?
Oh, yeah. Not Duck Duck Goose, but musical chairs.
Musical chairs. Yeah. Things like that. Basically, there was 60 children, and I won every game. Everyone. And to the point where it was like I wasn't even trying to in the end, and it was like kind of weird. And then there was like these weird things. And then there was another time that there was a school trip, and there wasn't enough beds at this place for all of the kids to go. So they said, we're going to do a raffle to work out who's going to have to stay behind. And I sat there and I said, I'll stay behind. Fuck it, I don't want to go. And then I was pulled out. So it was like these things, but then it all kind of went away again for a while, you know. Yeah. But it was interesting, like these different things that were meant to happen to make me realize that the world was a bit strange sometimes, you know.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And in Chinese medicine too, they say it's till about the year 7 is because you're connected directly to heaven, to source, and then around year 7 or 8, that age, is when you sink more into like the 3D, and that's, I don't want to say it's cut off, but it's like cut off or diminished. Mm-hmm. And then you go through those stages. Mm-hmm. So. Mm-hmm. And somebody else was saying that it's in another spiritual practice too, where it's the age of 7 or 8. For the same.
My grandma always used to say that our lives happen in 7s, you know, 7, 14, 21, 28.
That's Chinese medicine.
And each 7 is like a new, you know, you replenish and change.
Well, you're Indian, right? So that would be the Ayurvedic. Yeah, the principles are very similar. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just started getting a load of stuff coming in. Oh, I was told to, now that we got you on as well. So I spoke with Massimo, the angelic humanity galactic historian, just before I got on the phone here now, and he is going to do a private lesson, an advanced private lesson. He's not going to charge. He does normally charge for this.
That's very nice.
And it's literally, I'm going to invite the coordinators, and only the coordinators that want to do it and feel like it's for them. There's no pressure. So any coordinator that wants to, I knew you would want to, I knew Antoinette would want to, I knew Pooja
I already messaged you.
Okay. There you go. So those that want to can. Now here's the unique thing. I'm being told to say it in here as well. Anyone who's watching this that wants to, they can message me, or if they have a relationship with their coordinator, i.e. Antoinette or Lindsay, they can message, you know, you guys to say, I want to attend. And then, but it's not going to be something that's mass promoted. And I'm being told this is so that we can kind of, the information is a lot for people to absorb. So we're to create like kind of like people that are already knowledgeable about this first, so that they can support the next one coming through, so that then it's like that. It will just give you, because it's going to take a few days. They're saying it's going to take 7 days to process what you've learned. So then within another 7 days, another group can go in, but then you'll be able to support them, because it's really intense information. And it's not intense to me, like I said, because I was fully trained on all of this. Like everything on his, and everything that he knows about, I know about it. I just don't know the codes. I can't speak the language the way he can.
Mm-hmm. The language as in the vocabulary, the way
yeah, just like the way he would describe it. I mean, like he literally will be like, you know, the Lemurian galactic 5432 Emerald Rising tribute of the Lemurian Lyran.
Yes.
Something. Whereas I'll just be like the cat-like people did this to their mates.
Yes. I get you. I'm more on that. Yeah.
I don't have the technical skills, but yes. So this is an option, but I don't want anyone. I'm being told that for anyone that's not ready for this information, if they do it, it will feel like jumping inside a black bag, and you will panic and want to get out, and you won't be able to find your way out. So don't do this if you're not ready yet, guys. If this being here and witnessing this conversation feels enough of an uncomfortableness, then stay here for now and get used to this. Get used to this and just keep watching the lives over the next few weeks and everything like that. But if you feel like, nah, fuck that shit, I'm ready. Let me see what this is about, then cool, you know? But they did just show me like a cat walking into a black bag, about how it would panic if it wanted to get out. And that could happen if somebody was pushing themselves to do something that they're really not ready yet for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, guys, I feel like we don't even need to do too much of a long one today. It was more, you know, me and Antoinette, I wanted to make sure we talked about the importance of the twin flame journey for the actual earth energy, for the essential energy. Do you have anything you'd like to say about that, my darling?
About the earth energy. Oh, and I totally agree with anchoring heaven on earth. Absolutely. Yeah. And changing the dynamics and making sure that you both stay in that high energy, that high vibe. And that also to the, I don't want to say the polarities, but maybe like when you come together, you guys intensify each other, you know, the good things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
I know when I'm with, like, it freaking radiates and it's intense. Like, the pressure's almost like when you put a north and a north end together, like that's how
and they
intense.
Yeah. And the other thing,
Powerful.
I was just getting something. I was just being told that the thing that I spoke about letting the man sort out his garden for you, they're saying that's really, really key.
Yeah, totally.
Because the thing is imagine what it looks like while we're sorting out our garden. They're showing it. It's like got pink apron on and we're out there and it's hot and we're pulling up weeds and we're sorting stuff out. We're not ready for him yet, really. We've got some sorting out to do. Being realistic, we want him to come when we've got like pink lemonade and a table with a nice tablecloth and a nice, you know, hammock to lay in, and you know what I mean? We want our garden together, realistically. We're trying, a lot of girls are like trying to be like, I'm fine, I'm ready for him, and then they're looking around and there's like empty lemonade bottles on the floor and stuff. It's like, come on girl, you know?
My house right now.
Yeah. So let's be realistic. Let's picture how we want the garden to look when he comes into it, and let's get on with doing it. Then I need you to understand that he's over there doing that, but guess what? Because they're men, their way of getting it sorted is completely different from us. So we might be walking around in our pink apron and picking stuff up and sweating. He might look like he's doing nothing. My angel said it might look like he's doing fuck all, like he's just sat on his laptop. But guess what? He might be drawing out an architectural plan. He might be investing money so that he can pay really good gardeners to come in and do the job even better than what you're doing over there. So
I think of that.
Yeah. So understand, like, he's doing it his way. And understand he's doing it his way. And it's not going to make sense to you. If it made sense to you, then you wouldn't be you'd be a divine masculine, and then you two wouldn't be together and blah, 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 blah. You understand? So understand that his way of doing it is going to be the opposite of you. That's why you don't understand it. That's why you think that he's not doing anything. But he is getting his garden together, so like you are. And at the right time, the gardens will be joined, and then you'll build a lovely bouncy castle, and all sorts of wonderful things will happen. So,
yes, I agree.
My angels and their descriptive stuff is a bit special, but hey, you know, at least I can see it.
Yeah, at least, right. And you can see it, and it anchors in the story. Like the metaphors are easier to understand or to anchor in, to absorb when you're given visual, you know?
Yeah.
Very much like reading.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing I want everyone to take away from this. I know we've taken you in a little bit of a woo, and anyone that's been on from the beginning and they lasted till now, you're a soldier. You're an angelic galactic soldier, because this has been a bit of a journey on here, and it will be up.
And we only scratched the surface. We barely did anything. Just wait till you go deeper down the rabbit hole.
I know, but you must imagine what it's been like for me, guys. I've known all this stuff for like near on a decade, and I just have to. Just what happens is when people bring it up with me, I'm like, oh. And then, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, you know about it. I'm like, I could write a chapter on it if you like one.
Yes.
But you have to know when. You have to know when to speak it. Because if you speak it to somebody that's not ready, can do damage, and we're not here to hurt anybody. We're only here to love. So just make sure, again, work on your garden. Don't worry about what her garden or her garden looks like, you know. Focus on your garden, and naturally your garden and your divine masculine's garden will just energetically combine together. And here's the thing, as a final thing, when they join together, the energy, the nature energy in this garden that's a fused together land from both of your places, it's actually going to have 3 times the energy that your garden had on its own. So your sunflowers will grow 3 times bigger when you're with him. So that's something for you guys to understand energetically. It's like you're creating your garden, but when the gardens come together, you two will have 3 times the spiritual, energetic energy and power. And that's why, obviously, that's why we have to purify completely, get rid of all the bullshit, all the toxicity in our lives, in our heads, in our everything, in our bodies. Because when we come together with them, we have 3 times the power, and that power needs to only be for love, and it will only be for love. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Love it.
All right. Well, I love you too, darling, and I love you. And everybody watching, I love you. And if anyone has any questions, we're here. Lindsay can help, Antoinette can help, I can help. If you want to watch the advanced information masterclass on Saturday the 7th, just message us, but think about it first. And if you say you're going to do it, you better show up, because this is about, you know, this is grown women shit. This is, you know, we do what we say we're going to do. So have a think.
East Coast shit.
Yeah. yeah. Let's just make sure, you know, because that's the thing, you know, in spiritual world, a lot of people are very flaky. We're not flaky when it comes to things like this. The reason I'm able to offer such opportunities to us and have such extraordinary speakers come and give our time is because I do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. And that goes for the whole of the community. You know, if I tell him there's 10 people showing up for the class, I want to get there and I'm the 11th, you know. So let's just I know you will. I know you will. All right, girls. Well, I love you lots. Mwah, 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 mwah. And I will see you. Also, tomorrow I have Dale, the psychic. Me and him always get interrupted. That's like what happens with him. But hey, tune in. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.